So this guy got arrested for stealing a penguin? Now his name is Reese, and Reese is 21, he's a Welsh contractor living in Australia, and one day in 2012, he does one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. So he's chilling at home with his friend, this guy, Carrie. Carrie's 20, and they're hanging out at this apartment, and they decide, hey, let's go out and get drunk. And pretty quickly, they're off to the bar to get a few beers. And after they're there a while, they end up at a party on the beach. And at this beach party, they're really hitting the liquor hard. Like, they end up drinking 1.5 liters of vodka between them, which is almost an entire bottle. And as the night rolls on, they're having a great time. And so they just keep drinking. And one of their local buddies joins them. His name's James. And between Reese, Carrie, and James, one of them has the worst suggestion ever. One of them's like, hey, you know what's right next to us?
What's that?
SeaWorld. Wanna break in?
Alright.
And pretty quickly, Reese, Carrie, and James are breaking into SeaWorld Australia. And so they're there in the park, and they're wasted, walking around, checking things out, and I guess they come across the shark enclosure, and they're like, fuck yeah, sharks! And so they go inside, and they find a fire extinguisher, and they start playing with that, and they're spraying it all over the place for some reason, just causing havoc. Then they go over to the dolphin tanks, and one of them's like, I'm gonna get in! And he starts stripping down, and one of the others films it, because, you know, you gotta film your crimes.
I'm going in there, man. Look at the dolphins. Yo, look at them.
Let's go get a penguin, man. We're being
Now, I don't know if you heard that, but he said, let's go get a penguin.
Let's go get a penguin, man.
Because this is when they get the bright idea that they're gonna steal a penguin. And so they make their way over to the penguin enclosure, which it's weird none of these enclosures seem to be locked, but then again, maybe the people who run SeaWorld just assume no one is gonna be dumb enough to break in and steal a whole ass penguin. But anyways, they get to where the colony of penguins are chilling. And I don't know if one specific bird catches their eye or if one of them is closer to them than some of the others, but they scope out the penguins and they decide they're gonna take this little guy. His name's Dirk. Now, let's talk about Dirk for a second. Dirk is 7 years old and he was born in captivity. And so he's lived in an enclosure his whole life. And he's just a little guy. He's like 13 inches tall, just over a foot tall. And his particular breed, the fairy penguin, when they choose a mate, it is for life. Like, they are monogamous as hell. And Dirk, you know, he's got himself a little boo. Her name is Peaches. And Dirk thinks Peaches is fine. And the last thing he wants on this earth is to be separated from Peaches. But Reese, Carrie, and James